The shimmering void stretched endlessly around them, a vast expanse of glowing clouds, floating crystals, and unpredictable gravitational fields. The colors shifted constantly, painting the space in shades of violet, gold, and green. Alira leaned forward in the cockpit, her eyes wide with wonder, but she did not relax. She knew that beauty could be deceptive. Danger often lurked where it was least expected. Jackson's hands moved confidently over the controls, his focus absolute. "Stay alert," he said. "The hunters may have given up on following us, but we don't know what else might be out here. The void has surprises that even I haven't faced before." Alira nodded, gripping the artifact tightly. She felt its energy pulsing stronger than ever, as if it recognized the importance of this place. "I can feel it. It's reacting to this place," she said softly, almost like it knows we're close to safety. Jackson's eyes narrowed, scanning the instruments. "Good, that might help us. But we still need to be careful. The void is unforgiving, and even a small mistake could be disastrous for ours." They navigated the treacherous space. The crystals shifted and spun, creating paths that seemed impossible to traverse. Gravitational anomalies tugged at the ship, making maneuvers difficult. Alira watched as Jackson adapted to each new challenge with calm precision, his hands flying over the controls as he guided the ship through the ever-changing terrain. "This is incredible," Alira said, her voice filled with awe. "I've never seen anything like this, and yet, you make it look easy." Jackson gave her a small smile. "Humans learn to adapt. We face impossible situations and find a way through. It's not about luck, it's about thinking fast, acting quickly, and never giving up." "You've already seen that today," Alira nodded. She had seen it indeed. Humans could turn fear into courage, danger into opportunity. She realized that her trust in Jackson was not misplaced. He was not only skilled but brave, resourceful, and determined to protect her and the artifact at all costs. Suddenly, a shadow appeared in the distance, moving through the shimmering clouds. Alira squinted. "Jackson, something's coming. Fast." Jackson's eyes sharpened. "Sensors confirm it. Another hunter. But this one is different. It's larger, more heavily armed. They're determined to take the artifact." Alira felt a surge of fear, but it was tempered by confidence. She trusted Jackson, and she knew humans had a way of facing impossible odds and surviving. "What do we do?" she asked. "We fight smart," Jackson replied. "The void itself is our ally. We can use the crystals, the gravitational shifts, and the clouds to outmaneuver them. Follow my lead." The approaching ship opened fire, beams of energy slicing through the glowing clouds. Jackson twisted the controls, dodging blasts with precise maneuvers. Alira shouted out observations, warning him of obstacles and energy surges. Together, they worked as a team, moving in perfect synchronization. The hunter tried to anticipate their path, but the unpredictability of the void was against them. Crystals shifted, gravitational pulls changed direction, and clouds of ionized gas scattered energy beams. Jackson adapted instantly, guiding their ship with daring skill. Alira's heart raced as they weaved through the chaos. "We're faster than them," she shouted, excitement mixing with fear. "We can escape." Jackson nodded, eyes focused. "Not just escape. We can turn this to our advantage. Watch closely." He aimed the ship toward a cluster of massive crystals, floating like monoliths in the glowing mist. As the hunter followed, its sensors were confused by reflections and energy distortions. Alira gasped as beams from the hunter ricocheted off the crystals, striking other ships in the distance. The hunter faltered, its path disrupted. "Now!" Jackson shouted. Full speed through the channel. Alira held on tightly as the ship surged forward, twisting through a narrow passage between two enormous crystals. The hunter tried to follow, but was too large, colliding with a crystal and spinning out of control. Sparks and fragments flew as the massive ship tumbled into the void, leaving Alira and Jackson alone. They drifted for a moment, catching their breath. Alira's chest heaved, but her eyes sparkled with admiration. You really are incredible. Humans, you're amazing." Jackson allowed himself a small smile. "Humans survive, adapt, and sometimes inspire. But you've been brave too." Without your help, we wouldn't have made it. Alira felt a warmth spread through her. She had feared betrayal and failure, but now she realized something important. Humans were not only clever and brave, they could be trusted, and they could inspire hope even in the darkest moments. After regaining their bearings, Jackson set a new course deeper into the shimmering void. The path was less dangerous now, though still challenging. Crystals shifted more slowly, and the gravitational anomalies were less intense. Alira finally allowed herself to relax, feeling a sense of safety she had not felt in days. "Do you think we're safe?" she asked quietly. "For now," Jackson replied. "But the galaxy is full of challenges. The important thing is, we face them together. That makes all the difference." Alira nodded. She had already begun to trust him completely. Humans were capable of extraordinary heroics, but it was their willingness to protect others, even strangers, that made them truly remarkable. As they flew, Alira began to feel the artifact pulsing more strongly. Its energy was calm, yet powerful, as if acknowledging the safety of the shimmering void. She realized that they were not just hiding, they were in a place where the artifact could be protected, where its power could not be taken by force. Jackson noticed her focus. "The artifact, it's responding to the void, isn't it?" "Yes," Alira replied. "It feels safer here, protected, as if it knows we're on the right path." Jackson nodded. "Good. That means we made the right choice coming here." Humans trust their instincts, and sometimes the instincts are right. They drifted for several hours, moving quietly through the glowing clouds. The silence was peaceful, a sharp contrast to the chaos they had just escaped. Alira finally allowed herself to breathe fully, feeling a sense of relief and hope. "I can't believe we made it," she said softly. I thought I would never escape them." Jackson smiled gently. "Humans face impossible odds all the time, and sometimes we succeed. But it's not just humans. You've shown bravery too, Alira. Without your courage and knowledge, we wouldn't be here." Alira felt a sense of pride. Humans were extraordinary, yes, but this human Jackson had taught her that courage, trust, and determination could change fate itself. Together, they had faced impossible odds and survived. Suddenly, a soft hum filled the cockpit. The artifact's glow intensified, spreading warmth through Alira's chest. She realized it was reacting not just to the void, but to the bond between them. The partnership they had formed, the trust and courage they shared, had awakened something within it. Jackson noticed the change. "It's responding to you, and maybe to us. That's a good sign. We're not just safe, we're ready for whatever comes next." Alira smiled. "I never imagined humans could be like this. Brave and clever, and kind. You've changed everything for me." Jackson's eyes softened. "Humans can be extraordinary. We survive, we protect, and sometimes we inspire. Today, we've done all three." As they drifted deeper into the shimmering void, the stars and crystals around them shimmered like a promise. Alira felt hope blooming in her chest. The artifact was safe, the hunters were behind them, and with Jackson by her side, she knew they could face anything. For the first time in days, she allowed herself to smile fully. The galaxy was vast and dangerous, but humans were capable of greatness that could change the course of events. She realized that bravery, intelligence, and trust, qualities she had admired from afar, were now very real, embodied in the human sitting beside her. Jackson glanced at her, noticing the relief and admiration in her eyes. "This is just the beginning," he said softly. "The galaxy is full of challenges, but we've already faced the impossible. Together, we can handle whatever comes next." Alira nodded, feeling a surge of confidence. Humans were not just heroes of legend, they were capable of extraordinary things in real life. And now, she had one by her side, guiding her, protecting her, and trusting her in return. The shimmering void stretched endlessly before them, a place of beauty, danger, and possibility. Alira and Jackson moved through it with skill, courage, and trust. The artifact pulsed softly, safe in their care. And as they sailed through the glowing clouds, Alira realized that humans were capable of more than she had ever imagined. They could survive the impossible, protect those in need, and inspire hope even in the darkest places. In that moment, she knew that the ride of legends had not ended, it had only just begun. The nebula around them glowed faintly with shifting colors, clouds of gas twisting and shimmering like the surface of a living ocean. Alira leaned forward in the cockpit, watching the swirling patterns, but she did not relax. She knew danger could appear at any moment, even in this hidden refuge. Her large blue eyes reflected both awe and concern. Jackson adjusted the ship's sensors, scanning for any sign of the hunters or the massive war vessel that had chased them. "We're not completely safe yet," he said, his voice calm but serious. "They'll be looking for us and the artifact you carry. It's too valuable to ignore." Alira nodded. "I know, but with you, I feel safer than I ever have." He gave her a small, reassuring smile. "Humans face danger all the time. We survive not because we are fearless, but because we act even when fear is present. You're learning fast." Their quiet moment was broken by a sudden jolt. The ship shuddered violently as alarms blared. Alira gripped the seat, her heart racing. "What is it?" she shouted. Jackson's eyes narrowed. "Sensors are detecting multiple ships. They found us. Prepare yourself, we're going to have to fight our way out." From the midst of the nebula, shapes began to emerge, sleek, dark alien ships, dozens of them, moving in coordinated formation. They fired energy pulses that lit up the nebula in flashes of green and purple. Alira's stomach churned, but she did not panic. She trusted Jackson. Humans had a reputation for surviving impossible odds, and she had already seen him do incredible things. Jackson activated the ship's defensive shields and maneuvered sharply, weaving between the incoming blasts. "Hold on!" he yelled. "We'll need every bit of speed and skill to survive this." Alira pressed herself against the cockpit, watching as the hunter's ships fired repeatedly. Jackson twisted and turned the craft with breathtaking agility, dodging energy beams that could have shredded the hull. Sparks flew across the control panel as a near miss struck the side of the ship. "You're amazing," Alira shouted over the alarms. "How do you do this?" He smirked, one hand flying over the controls while the other steadied the ship. "Humans improvise. We think fast, act faster, and never give up. Watch closely, this is the only way to survive." The hunters tried to corner them, but Jackson had a plan. He veered toward a dense field of asteroids, smaller than the ones they had passed before, but tightly packed and spinning in unpredictable patterns. The alien ships hesitated, unwilling to follow through the chaos. "Now, Alira," Jackson shouted, "I need you to help me navigate." She froze for a moment, then realized what he meant. He needed her knowledge of alien technology to anticipate their pursuers' moves. Using her understanding of their weapons and flight patterns, she called out adjustments. "Left. No. Wait up. Yes. Now down." Jackson followed her directions, weaving between the spinning rocks, dodging energy blasts, and avoiding collisions. The hunters struggled to keep up, some smashing into asteroids, others scattering into the void. Sparks and fragments filled the space, painting a dangerous but beautiful scene. Alira felt her pulse racing, but also a strange thrill. She had never worked with anyone like this. Humans were extraordinarily brave, clever, and willing to risk everything to protect others. She realized she was beginning to admire not just Jackson's skill, but his heart. After what felt like hours but was only minutes, they emerged from the asteroid field, battered but intact. Jackson's breathing was steady, his eyes scanning for more threats. "We're not out of danger yet," he said, "but that gave us some time." "Good work." Alira smiled faintly, still holding the artifact tightly. "I never thought I could help like that. Thank you for trusting me." "Trust goes both ways," Jackson said. "We protect each other. That's how humans survive, and now, it seems, that's how we succeed together." For a moment, they shared silence, the stars around them stretching endlessly. Then Alira spoke, voice soft but determined. "We can't keep running forever. They'll keep coming. We need a plan somewhere safe, where the artifact can't be taken." Jackson nodded. "Agreed. I know a place, farther into uncharted space. It's called the Shimmering Void. Very few have gone there and lived to tell the tale. But it's perfect for hiding." Alira's eyes widened. Uncharted? Dangerous? Extremely, Jackson admitted. But humans thrive in dangerous situations. It's where we shine. And you've already shown courage beyond your years. Together, we can make it. She felt hope blooming inside her. Humans were not just legends, they were capable of extraordinary heroics. And now she had one with her, guiding her, protecting her, and trusting her in return. As they set course for the shimmering void, the artifact on Alira's chest began to pulse more strongly. Its energy seemed to sense the growing bond between her and Jackson, as if it approved of their partnership. Alira felt a strange warmth in her chest, a sense that things were beginning to change. Hours passed in tense flight, navigating through regions of space filled with debris and anomalies. Jackson explained some of his strategies, teaching Alira how to read the ship's instruments, how to anticipate danger, and how to think quickly under pressure. She absorbed every word, realizing that humans were not just brave, they were resourceful, adaptable, and inspiring. Suddenly, an enormous shape appeared on the sensors, a massive alien cruiser, larger than anything Alira had ever seen. Its hull was dark and angular, bristling with weapons. This was no ordinary hunter. It was a warship, and it was coming straight for them. Jackson's jaw tightened. "This is serious," he muttered. "But humans don't give up. We improvise, adapt, and survive." "Hold on, Alira. We're going to make history." The ship surged forward, dodging energy beams and maneuvering through debris fields. Jackson's skill was extraordinary. He twisted the controls with precision, anticipating every move the alien warship made. Alira shouted out observations, helping him anticipate attacks. And together they worked as a seamless team. The warship fired a massive beam, and Jackson's ship dove sharply, narrowly avoiding destruction. Alira's hand shook, but she stayed focused, calling out directions and warning him of obstacles. Her heart raced, but she trusted Jackson completely. Humans, she realized, were capable of facing impossible odds and coming out alive. Minutes felt like hours, but slowly, the warship began to fall behind. Its massive size made it slow to react to the rapid maneuvers of Jackson's smaller, more agile ship. Sparks flew across the sensors as the alien vessel struggled to keep up. Alira exhaled, relief flooding her. We did it," she whispered. Jackson allowed himself a brief smile. "Humans survive, and sometimes we thrive. But this isn't over. We'll need to stay alert until we reach the shimmering void." As they entered uncharted space, the stars became distant and faint, replaced by swirling clouds of colorful gas. The shimmering void was like nothing Alira had ever seen: luminous clouds, strange gravitational anomalies, and fields of floating crystals that reflected starlight in every color imaginable. It was dangerous, yes, but also breathtakingly beautiful. "This place," Alira whispered, eyes wide. "It's incredible." Jackson nodded. "It's perfect for hiding. Few dare enter here, and even fewer survive. But we will." Alira felt a sense of awe and gratitude. Humans were not only brave and clever, they could navigate the impossible and protect those in need. She realized that this human, Jackson, had already changed her life. He had given her hope, courage, and a chance to survive against impossible odds. As the ship moved deeper into the shimmering void, Alira and Jackson prepared for what lay ahead. The hunters and warships would not give up easily, but together, they had already faced dangers that would have defeated most. Together, they would survive, and perhaps even triumph. Alira held the artifact close, feeling its energy pulsing stronger with every passing moment. She looked at Jackson, and for the first time, she felt a sense of true partnership. Humans, she realized, were not just capable of survival, they could inspire greatness. Even in the darkest moments, and in the heart of the shimmering void, with stars glittering like distant promises, Alira knew that the real adventure was only beginning. The stars stretched endlessly in every direction, their light reflecting off the sleek hull of Jackson's spacecraft. Alira sat beside him in the cockpit, still clutching the strange artifact to her chest. Its faint glow pulsed softly, as if alive. She had tried to understand it, studied it as best she could. But its secrets remained beyond her comprehension. Still, she knew it was important, dangerously important. Jackson glanced at her from time to time, his eyes calm yet alert. "We'll need a plan," he said, breaking the silence. "We can't just keep running forever. They'll track us eventually, and the artifact you carry, it makes you a target." Alira nodded. "I know, but I don't know where to go. My people, they hid it for generations, but now they are gone. If it falls into the wrong hands..." Her voice trembled. She did not finish the sentence. The thought was too frightening. Jackson understood without her finishing. Humans had a saying, "Better to act than to despair." That's what he intended to do. He had flown across dangerous sectors before, faced enemies who were stronger, faster, or more numerous than he was, and yet he always found a way. He would do the same for this alien girl. "We're going to need to move fast," Jackson said. "I know a place humans call the Phantom Sector. It's uncharted, dangerous, and difficult to navigate, but it's perfect for hiding." Alira's eyes widened. "Dangerous? How dangerous?" Jackson smiled faintly. "It's full of asteroids, spatial storms, and things you wouldn't believe exist. But I've survived it before. You'll be safe with me." Her trust in him grew with every word. Humans, she realized, had an unusual combination of courage and intelligence. They could see danger and yet choose to face it if it meant protecting others. That was something her people had admired in humans from old stories, and now she saw it firsthand. As they approached the Phantom Sector, the stars began to blur, streaking past them as the ship accelerated. Jackson's hands moved confidently over the controls, weaving their ship through invisible currents of gravitational energy. Alira clutched the sides of her seat, heart pounding with excitement and fear. Suddenly, alarms blared. Sensors detect multiple incoming vessels. Jackson shouted. The hunters had not given up. They had tracked them here, unwilling to lose their prize. Alira's eyes widened. "They found us?" Jackson nodded, flipping switches and activating the ship's defensive systems. "Yes, but don't worry. They underestimate humans, and they definitely underestimate me." The first wave of enemy ships appeared like black shadows against the stars. Jackson's ship weaved sharply, dodging blasts of energy that lit up space with bursts of blue and red. Alira held her breath, amazed at how he anticipated every attack, every movement. His reflexes were incredible, and he thought faster than she had ever imagined possible. "Hold on," Jackson yelled, spiraling the ship through a dense asteroid belt. Rocks the size of buildings spun and tumbled around them, yet he guided the ship with precision, slipping between obstacles with impossible speed. The hunters followed, but many collided with the asteroids, exploding in showers of sparks and debris. Alira could hardly believe her eyes. She had seen skilled pilots before, but Jackson's maneuvers were beyond anything she had ever witnessed. He was not just fast or clever, he was fearless. And yet, his confidence did not feel reckless. She felt safe with him. As they emerged from the asteroid field, Jackson slowed slightly, giving Alira a chance to breathe. "You okay?" he asked. Alira nodded, her hands still trembling slightly. "Yes, I think so." "You're incredible," Jackson smirked. "Humans have their moments." He glanced at her, eyes softening. "And you've been very brave too, carrying that artifact, running through danger. I wouldn't have lasted half as long without your help." Alira felt warmth spread through her chest. Humans were strange, daring, and bold, yet there was kindness in them, too. She had only just met this one, but she already felt a bond forming, a connection that crossed species. Distance and danger, they flew in silence for a few minutes, the stars stretching past like streaks of silver light. Then Alira spoke softly, almost hesitantly. "The artifact, it can do things. I don't fully understand, but it can open portals, move things across space. My people hid it because it is dangerous in the wrong hands. They trusted me to protect it." Jackson nodded, absorbing every word. "Then we'll protect it together. You're not alone in this." Alira smiled faintly. Trust had been hard to come by, but she felt it growing now. Humans, maybe they could be trusted. Maybe they could even inspire hope. Suddenly, The ship shuddered violently. Alira clutched her seat as warning lights flashed across the cockpit. "What is it?" she asked, panic rising. "Energy surge ahead," Jackson said quickly. "A spatial storm. We need to fly through it. Hold tight." The ship plunged into the storm, and Alira's stomach lurched as turbulent energy rocked the craft. Lightning-like discharges of plasma crackled around them, illuminating the swirling clouds in brilliant shades of purple and green. Jackson's hands moved with speed and precision, adjusting shields, engines, and thrusters simultaneously. Alira had never experienced anything like this. The storm was alive, almost as if the universe itself was testing them. Yet Jackson remained calm, guiding them through the chaos. She could feel the warmth of his confidence, the knowledge that they would survive. After tense minutes that felt like hours, they emerged from the storm, the stars once again shining clearly around them. Alira exhaled, relief flooding through her. "We made it," she whispered. Jackson nodded, a faint smile on his face. "Humans are good at surviving, and sometimes we thrive in impossible situations." They continued deeper into the Phantom sector, the path ahead uncertain, but their determination unwavering. Alira began to notice details in the environment: a floating field of debris, remnants of old ships and satellites drifting silently in the void. Jackson's navigation skills were unmatched, avoiding hazards that could have torn their ship apart. As hours passed, Alira and Jackson talked quietly. She explained bits of her history, the struggles of her people, and the importance of the artifact. Jackson listened, offering insight, sharing stories of human courage and ingenuity. Their connection grew stronger with each word. "You know," Jackson said at one point, "humans have faced things like this before. We often succeed not because we're the strongest, but because we're clever, determined, and willing to take risks others won't. You've seen that today." Alira nodded. "Yes, I've seen it. I never knew humans were like this, so brave, so daring, so alive." Jackson chuckled softly. "You get used to it, and sometimes humans inspire each other to do even greater things. Maybe I've inspired you, but I think you inspire me too." Alira felt her cheeks warm. She had never felt this connection with anyone before. The dangers they faced, the speed of their flight, and the courage she saw in him, all of it made her realize that humans were capable of greatness beyond imagination. Suddenly, her attention was drawn to a flicker in the ship's sensors. "Jackson, something's coming," she said, her voice tense. Jackson leaned forward, scanning the displays. A massive, shadowy vessel appeared in the distance, moving with deliberate speed. "That's not one of the hunters," he muttered. "Something bigger." Alira's heart raced. "Bigger than them?" Jackson's jaw tightened. "Much bigger. Stay calm. We'll need every bit of skill and luck to get through this." As the vessel approached, it became clear that it was not merely a ship, it was a war machine, bristling with weapons and energy shields. The sheer scale of it made Alira's stomach turn, yet she could not look away. She felt a strange mix of fear and awe. Jackson's hands danced over the controls, activating defensive measures and plotting evasive maneuvers. "Humans face challenges like this all the time," he muttered. "We improvise, adapt, and survive. Just hold on, Alira." The chase resumed, more dangerous than before. The massive vessel fired energy blasts, forcing them to dodge at incredible speeds. Alira's heart pounded, but she also felt exhilaration. This was unlike anything she had experienced. Humans truly were extraordinary, capable of facing impossible odds and coming out alive. Hours passed in tense flight, and slowly, the war machine fell behind. Unable to match Jackson's speed and cunning, Alira felt a surge of gratitude and admiration. She had been terrified at first, but now she understood the truth. Humans were capable of heroics, courage, and ingenuity that could change the course of events. Finally, Jackson guided the ship to a hidden nebula, a place dense with gas clouds that concealed them from sensors. He slowed the engines, letting the ship drift in the safety of the shadows. Alira exhaled deeply, exhaustion and relief washing over her. "We've survived," she whispered. Jackson nodded. "Yes, for now. but the galaxy is full of challenges. We'll need to be ready for whatever comes next. Alira smiled faintly. With you, I think I can face anything. Jackson glanced at her, eyes softening. And I'll be there. Humans do what they can, and I won't let anything happen to you. As they rested, hidden in the nebula, Alira realized that the human beside her was more than a pilot. He was a protector, a hero, and perhaps even a friend. And as the stars twinkled outside, she felt hope for the first time in a long while. The ride was far from over, but with him, she felt ready to face anything. The sun was setting over the red sands of Viridian 7, painting the desert in deep shades of orange and violet. The wind swept across jagged rock formations, carrying dust that shimmered like tiny stars in the fading light. On this remote planet, far from the nearest human colony, danger could appear at any moment, and for Alira, danger had been chasing her all day. She ran, her slender legs moving faster than she thought possible. Her lavender skin glowed faintly under the last rays of sunlight, and her large, luminous blue eyes scanned the horizon. Behind her, a group of dark, menacing ships skimmed the desert, sending plumes of dust and sand into the air. They were fast, precise, and unyielding. They had been hunting her for hours, and she knew they would not stop until they caught her. Alira's small hands clutched a strange device strapped to her chest. It was an ancient artifact, one that her people had protected for generations. She did not fully understand its power, but she knew others would kill to possess it. The thought of falling into their hands made her chest tighten with fear. She needed help, but she did not know where to turn. Her mind raced. Humans were rare in this sector. Most avoided the desolate planets near the edge of the galaxy. Stories spoke of their courage, of their ability to take impossible risks and survive. Could a human help her? Could they be trusted? She had no choice. She had to try. Just then, a sleek, silver spacecraft emerged from the horizon, cutting through the orange dust clouds like a blade. It moved with a precision that Alira could only admire. The pilot, a human named Jackson, was known in human colonies for daring missions and bold decisions. He had faced pirates, navigated asteroid fields, and outrun space storms that would have destroyed most ships. Alira had only heard the legends, never imagining she would meet him. The craft landed softly on the desert floor, kicking up a small cloud of sand. Alira skidded to a stop a few meters away, her heart pounding. She raised her hands, hoping the human would understand her urgency. Please, make it fast, she whispered, her voice barely audible over the wind. Jackson, sitting in the cockpit, turned toward her. His eyes were sharp, intelligent, and calm. He studied her for a moment, sensing both fear and determination. He had seen desperation before, but something about this alien girl made him pause. There was courage in her eyes, and he recognized a rare spark of resourcefulness. Climb aboard, he said finally, his voice steady. I can get you out of here. Alira hesitated for only a heartbeat before running toward the ship. She jumped into the cockpit, gripping the edges tightly. Jackson activated the engines, and the spacecraft lifted off the ground, rising quickly into the sky. Dust swirled beneath them as the ship accelerated, moving faster than Alira had ever imagined possible. Behind them, the hunters' ships had spotted them and were already giving chase. Their engines roared, leaving trails of bright light against the darkening sky. Alira's heart sank as she realized how close they were. She clutched the artifact, hoping it would not betray her location. Jackson's hands moved swiftly over the controls, adjusting the ship's thrusters and shields. Hold on tight, he warned. They won't let us go easily. Alira nodded, gripping the seat as the ship made a sharp turn to avoid a jagged rock formation. The wind outside was fierce, even in the vacuum of space near the planet's surface. But inside the cockpit, she felt the warmth of safety. For the first time in hours, she dared to hope. The hunt began in earnest. Jackson's ship darted between cliffs and over deep canyons, moving faster than the human eye could follow. The alien pursuers were skilled, but they had not anticipated a human pilot with this level of skill. Alira watched in amazement as Jackson used daring maneuvers to outsmart them. He spun the ship sharply around a massive sandstone pillar, forcing the hunters to scatter and crash into the rocks below. Sparks and flames lit up the desert as one of the ships exploded, sending a shockwave through the canyon. Alira gasped. She had never seen such courage. Humans truly were different. Are you okay? Jackson asked without looking back, his focus entirely on the chase. Yes, Alira said, her voice shaking. Thank you for saving me. Jackson smirked slightly. We're not safe yet. Just keep your hands inside the cockpit. Alira nodded, clutching the artifact even tighter. She could feel the faint hum of its energy. It seemed to respond to the danger around them, as if it knew she was being protected. As they flew, Alira began to explain why she was being hunted. I carry something important, she said. An artifact, my people. It is our duty to protect it. But others, they want it for themselves. I had no choice but to run. Jackson listened carefully, adjusting their trajectory to avoid detection. I see, he said. We'll keep it safe. Don't worry. I know a few places humans have explored that are off all maps. We can hide there for now. Alira's eyes widened. You would help me? Humans do what they can, Jackson said simply. Sometimes it's bravery, sometimes it's luck. But we don't leave people to die if we can help, for a moment. Alira felt a warmth she had not felt in days. She had expected fear, distrust, maybe even betrayal. Instead, she found courage in the human beside her. Perhaps humans were not only capable of incredible skill, they could care deeply as well. The ship passed over the desert and lifted into higher atmosphere. The horizon expanded to show the endless expanse of space. Stars glittered like diamonds, and Alira felt a sense of awe. She had traveled across many worlds, but nothing compared to this view. The speed, the skill, and the freedom of flying through space with a human pilot left her breathless. They are still following, Alira said, pointing toward the tiny streaks of light in the distance. Jackson's expression hardened. They underestimate us. They think humans are reckless, but we're clever too. Watch and learn with that. He activated the ship's advanced thrusters and veered toward an asteroid field. Massive rocks floated in chaotic patterns, spinning slowly in the void. The hunters hesitated, not daring to follow immediately. Jackson navigated expertly, weaving through the narrow passages, dodging rocks that could have destroyed them both. Alira held on tightly, her eyes wide. How do you do this? She asked. Jackson glanced at her and smiled. Humans are good at solving problems when the odds are against them. You learn quickly or you don't survive. It's all instinct and experience. The alien girl's admiration grew. She had read about humans, had heard tales of their resilience and cleverness. But seeing it firsthand was different. The legends were true. They were fearless in ways she had never imagined, willing to risk everything for the sake of others. Hours passed as they flew through space, avoiding the hunters and navigating treacherous terrain. Alira began to feel a bond forming between them. She could sense that Jackson was not just a skilled pilot, but a protector. Someone who could be trusted even when the universe seemed intent on punishing her. As they approached a quiet sector far from any known trade routes, Jackson slowed the ship. The stars outside seemed brighter here, untouched by civilization or danger. He turned to Alira. We'll rest here for a while. You need to recover, and we can figure out our next move. Alira exhaled deeply, her body relaxing for the first time in days. Thank you, she said softly. I don't know what I would have done without you. Jackson shrugged modestly. Don't thank me yet. The galaxy is full of dangers, and we're not out of them. But for now, you're safe. They sat in silence, watching the stars pass by. Alira felt hope stirring inside her. Humans were more than just legends. They were heroes in their own right, capable of courage, cleverness, and kindness all at once. She realized that this human, Jackson, might be the key not only to her survival, but to the safety of the artifact she carried. As night fell over Viridian 7 and the distant suns cast a gentle glow across the ship's cockpit, Alira whispered quietly, Please, keep me safe. Jackson's hand rested lightly on the control panel. I will, he said firmly. No one will touch you while I'm around. For the first time in days, Alira allowed herself to hope. The ride had begun. and she sensed that this human could change the course of her life and perhaps even the galaxy itself.